so far from Creighton?
Very interchangeable parts offensively. They run a lot of stuff that's going to be very hard to guard. Stuff that we don't see a lot in the Big 12. Their style. They invert their offense. Their guards post up. They're big guys step away from the basket. Very efficient. Shoot the three a lot. And then defensively, really good quarter-court man-to-man defense. Very personnel driven. So. They're obviously playing at a really high level, and I think it's a great challenge in the sense of, you're seeing someone that we haven't played Creighton. I don't know how long ago it's been since we played them. So that's the beauty of this tournament. You run into teams that you don't see, and maybe a style you don't see that often.
Do you know Jim pretty well?
Yeah, Flan's a great guy. He's been there a long time, and Mr. Blue Jay, he's probably been there as long as I've been here. But you see him a lot. We cross paths. We don't recruit a lot of the same kids, but we're in the same areas. And I think what he's done there over time has been really, really good. And took the team from the Valley to the Big East, but just a really good person. Got a great staff. They do it right, and it's no surprise they are where they are, and it's been a great thing for them to get this far.
Outside of a Big 12 opponent, is this probably a team that you guys have the most connections with? I guess kind of like the Kevin Bacon game where you talked about you try to find people that have played them before.
Yeah, you've tried, and they played Drake really early. They've played UNI, and then obviously you look at recent history, certainly what they did in the last weekend in the tournament. So, and we know some of the kids. I mean, that we've seen through high school and AAU days. You've watched them play, so you have a sense of who they are and how they play and how they fit the style there. But they do what they do really, really well, and I think that's, hopefully that's what we try and do too. You celebrate what you are and try and do it as well as you can, and hopefully it's good enough to win.
How much can, you had mentioned you and I played him. Is Steven somebody that can be a resource, or is that something you don't even try to tap into?
Yeah, I think you do. I mean, the thing about those games, it was a long time ago. So I don't know that it's as applicable and what you try and do is you get as recent as you can, and you try and find maybe teams that are more like us than other teams. So, and like I said the other day, is you can really, really overthink this. You try too hard, and now you have access to so much information, and sometimes you got to be really careful that you don't overload yourself, your team. So you pick out a few key things that you want to really focus on, and then just enjoy the moment of going to the tournament. And that's the uniqueness too for us. Probably is we play the first two at home, so now you get to travel, and now it's maybe a more NCAA experience and go to a place that a lot of our kids haven't been before and play in a great arena. So I think they're really looking forward to it.
Were you able to watch the Iowa and Creighton game live?
No, we didn't watch it live. We were actually practicing right during that game. So no, we just watched it on video like everyone else, and that game and the Colorado game, because those are the last two games they played and very recent. So who's available and who's playing more minutes, stuff like that. So it gave us a pretty good read of what we think we're going to see.
Was that an outcome you were surprised to hear about? Because on paper it looked like a big upset.
I think what we've all learned in these tournaments is you're probably not surprised by anything. There's been a lot more of those games maybe on the women's side this year than in the past. You always see it on the men's side, but I think this year with the women, the tournament has become that way. And even some of the, like us, you kind of survived that first one. There's been some pretty close games that the team that was favored won. Indiana wins by one, and Tennessee won in a close game last night. So I don't think surprise is probably much of a, I think if a number one seed would have got beat, maybe that would surprise some people. But other than that, I don't think there were many surprises.
How are you guys doing health-wise?
We're pretty good.
I know
Naya's broken nose,
Wow.
so she'll be wearing her mask She looks like Batman or something. So, and then B couldn't play the other night. She's got a little rib thing, so I think she'll be good to go. She's not going to practice today, but it's more of a comfort thing, and this is the time of year you got to play through that. But as of now, Nye broke her nose, but she is good to go. But we have to put her in a mask.
Did you say a shoulder or a rib thing?
B's got something with a rib thing that it kind of moves around, and then because of that, it hurts her. It's hard to breathe. So there's a kind of it's very uncomfortable. So that's why she didn't go back in the game the other night, and then they're working on it right now. But they think she'll be okay to play, but we just got to be really careful with it.
How pleased were you with how Izzy came in the game and performed, and how helpful is that for her to get tournament experience at such a
No, Izzy was great. I mean, you think about a kid that really hasn't played much at all and got thrust into a situation that we really needed her. She goes in, gets 7 rebounds, got a basket for us. And I've told our kids many times that there's a lot of situations where the number one thing you got to do is eat up minutes. And I thought she did a really good job of that, gave Mo a break. And, I thought she impacted the game and I think gave our kids a lift too. Our kids are really connected, as I keep saying. And when they see a kid go in and contribute who hasn't had the chance or hasn't done it much, I think everyone got pretty excited, and I thought she was really, really good.
We've talked a little bit about Dew recently, but just how valuable has she been down the stretch?
She's been huge for us, and I think her versatility at both ends of the floor. I mean, we can play her in a lot of places. She's guarded small players. She's guarded taller players. Her length is something that's unique to our team. And I think her confidence level offensively has gone up. I think she kind of hesitated a little too much early, not wanting to shoot it, or sometimes kids are afraid to miss. But she's given us a really good all-around boost, and really probably solidified our team down the stretch.
Did she want to go back? She seems like a pretty tough kid.
Yeah.
Did she ask to go back in, or was she smart enough to know it's
the trainers made that decision, and that's one of the things you just ask, and they were like, because they knew it was broken, but you don't know what, so we had to get her with the doctor right afterwards. But they said she's okay. She'll probably have to have something done later, but she can play with a mask, a protective covering. But no, in that game, it was that decision was made at the moment that she couldn't go back in.
You touched on it a little bit already, but there's been an uptick in upsets, more wins by double-digit seeds than there have been in the past few years. I guess you said it's not something to really be surprised by. What do you think is responsible for that uptick? Do you see any kind of trend in the parity? Or?
Well, I think there's, the two things that probably jump off the page for me are the transfer portal. The kids can get eligible right away so people can go and play. And the other thing is, if you look at like a team like South Dakota, they're really good and they're old. The COVID year allowed teams, to get old and stay old kind of thing. So I think if you look across the country, the Princetons and the Belmonts and the South Dakotas and those teams, I've been in the system for a while, and their ability to play with each other with that extra year has made a huge difference.
When you get this far into a tournament of any kind, I guess, or this far into a season, how much is the game plan just playing Iowa State basketball and not apologizing for either error?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's most of it. I mean, you tweak, every game is the same for us. We tweak it a little bit, but you got to be who you are, and we'll make some subtle defensive adjustments. We'll do some things offensively, depending on who we play. But there's a reason this team has gotten where they are, and you don't want to do too many crazy things. But I think the biggest thing is prepare the right way, get the rest that you need, and take another nap since we're playing late on Friday night again. I think our kids are ready for that. We've already done it, so that's a good thing. So hopefully Friday night we'll be ready to go. Thank you all.